They want to silence me because I will never let them silence you. That's what it's all about. And it's no wonder the swamp is getting truly desperate as they see us leading polls. So I have some of them with me. I just happen to have it. Just happened. In the most recent, very respected Rasmussen poll, we're leading DeSanctimonious by 44 points. 44 points, that's all right. We're leading them by 44 points, 57 to 13. Mike Pence is at 5. Well, no. Sad. It's sad. And I don't like to see the way he's being treated, but Mike is at 5. But everyone's lower than that. I mean, other people are at 1 and 2 and 0. Sir, will you debate? Will you debate? You know, they were all asking me that question. Sir, will you stand up there against a hostile network? Fox. Will you stand up there against a hostile network? Remember the question I was asked by Megyn Kelly a long time ago? By the way, she's gotten religion. She's gotten religion. And stand up, listen, with like 10 or 12 guys that have 0, 1, 2, 3. I may have 75, 78, 79. And I'm going to listen to some guy like Ada Hutchinson. I call him Ada because he's boring. I don't know why he hates me. You know, I won Arkansas by a landslide. But am I going to stand up there by guys with 0, 1, 2, 3%, maybe 4, and have them ask me hostile questions? And if I don't go to the debate, they say, I'm not saying this, but they say that the ratings are going to be very bad. So if I agree to do the debates, I get hit by a hostile network, but I also get hit by all these guys. And they are professional politicians. I mean, they're not stupid people. They just happen to be at 0. And they say, what about this, President Trump? What about this? And I look at the guy and say, you're at 0. You're asking me these questions. But, you know, you want to have a smart president. And I think if you see me up there, even if I do well, I like the debates. I think I probably maybe won the presidency because of the debates. But at a certain point, you say, why are we doing these things? Why are we doing these things? So we'll see what happens. I haven't made a commitment one way or the other. Should I do them or not? Hold it. No, wait a minute. Wait. Now take your entertainment cap, because for entertainment, everyone's going to say, do them. But now put on your political cap, right? We have to save our country. We have to win. Should I get up there with 10 or 12 hostile people and a hostile network and be abused with terrible questions? Okay, are you ready? So I'll go, should we do the debate or should we do the debate? Should we not do the debate? You people just want entertainment. I don't know. What do you guys think? Yes, Mike? They're saying no. They're saying no. Fred, no? In the most recent Harvard-Harris poll, we're up by 40 points over DeSanctimonious he's all the way down to 12. Remember, he was surging at about 30. By the way, we were still winning, but we're winning much more since the persecution, by a lot more. And by the way, my women from North Carolina, would you please stand up? Look at this. They're beautiful women, and of course, you're not allowed to say that anymore. That could be the end of my political career. I called them beautiful. I'm sorry. I apologize for calling. Now, look, they're beautiful women, happily married. What number is this that you've come to, Rally? About 100. Yeah, it's about 100. Can you imagine? And sometimes they bring their husbands. And the husbands are nice. Oh, they're pointing. They're over there. You mean they couldn't get the good seats? You got the good seats. No. They've been, look at them. They're so incredible. And they've been to now, think of this. Where are the husbands? Stand up. You got to be kidding. They put them in the bleachers. That's great. Well, they're great families. North Carolina, thank you very much. Oh. The front row Joes, please stand up. These people, you are so amazing. So we're really, we're going to start this whole thing. This is just, we did this a little bit early because we wanted to get it. It's hot, it's miserable, it's the dog days, they call it. But we're going to be really heavy hitting around October, and we're going to remember you in October. You've always been there from us in good times and bad. Front row Joes. Thank you, darling. They come out here sometimes 5 days early to make sure they get seats. So we love you. We do. Thank you very much, all of you. And thank you from North Carolina. In the most recent Harvard-Harris poll, we're up 40 points with Trump at 52 and DeSantis at 12. And actually, it's very interesting because there's a lot of people on his heels, and we're dominating Biden in the general election, very importantly. We are at 45, and he's at 40. Don't forget, the Democrats start off with a big advantage. They think they have the unions. I happen to think the unions, the workers, except for the corrupt officials that head the unions. I mean, I've seen unions where the guy's a total Democrat, there's nothing you can do, and they end up getting fired because they endorse Hillary or they endorse Biden. But we have a lot of the people in the unions with us. I think we have largely a majority. But they have civil service, and they have others. They have people. I don't want to go into it exactly, because people will say that's not a nice thing to say. But they have a base of 35 or so. And we start off with nothing. You got to win that whole East Coast. You got to do exactly as we did, and actually as we did twice. We did it twice. We have to do it now a third time. We're going to do it a third time. But we're up 5 points, and very importantly, because, they keep talking about the independent voters, we're up 18 points among independent voters over Biden. And in the newest, just came out, Echelon poll, the Echelon poll of swing states, we're trouncing Biden by 7 points, and the big new premise poll, we're beating Biden by 43 to 39, with DeSantis losing to Biden 33 to 38. In other polls, I'm leading Biden by 6, 7, 8, and 11 points, while DeSantis is losing to Biden in every single case. And when asked, and this is very important because it's the economy, stupid, right? It's the economy, stupid. We've heard that line for a long time, and there's a lot of truth to it. But I think in this case, there's a lot of truth to borders, and there's a lot of truth to militaries and not doing what we did in Afghanistan because we have an incompetent leader. Getting out was fine. Getting out with dignity and strength, not stupid. The stupid, most embarrassing thing ever in our country's history. When asked who's the best to improve the economy, it's Trump, 54, to DeSantis, 18. In Iowa, we're leading 55 to 11. In New Hampshire, great state, we're leading 59 to 12. And in South Carolina, we're leading 65 to 10. And we're leading by a similar number in Nevada. We're doing great. Nevada came out, it's like 65 to 10. We're leading by a lot, and we're going to keep it that way. The characters in the bow, they got some beauties back there. They got some they have one very good one, though, actually. One is a lot, but they got some beauties. But, they were saying you always have an ebb and flow, right? So you're leading, like right now we're leading by a lot. A lot of people say DeSantis is dropping out of the race. I don't know that that's true, but I wouldn't be surprised. He should. Because I think he's absolutely killed himself for 28, But remember the loyalty thing. He wouldn't be there except for me. And then he said, I have no comment. And we know what that meant. No comment means he's running, but he's really hurt himself. But I hear he's dropping out, but I will say this. We're going to make this country so strong. We're going to make our country so great. We're going to have so many victories again. We had victories. We didn't have wars. Russia respected us. Putin respected me. Putin would never have gone into Ukraine if I were, but never, ever, ever. I knew him very well. You know, the fake news hates when I say I knew him well. They hate when I say I got along with him. No, it's good to get along. They have more nuclear weapons than us, or just about the same, but a little more than us. Can you imagine that? They have big nuclear. Nobody ever talks about that. They talk about the war. They never mention that. And it's a very dangerous position to be in. We're in a very stupid, dangerous position right now. And you know what? If Europe doesn't start paying for this, can you imagine with us being at 200 billion and them being at 25 billion? Can you imagine? How stupid, how stupid are we? We can't have this. But Putin would have never gone in. And it was the apple of his eye. I talked to him about it a lot. I said, Vladimir, don't do it. And then I said things to him that you don't want to know, but I said, it's going to really be bad. It's going to be so bad for you if you do it. And he never did it. He said, you wouldn't do that. I said, yes, I will. He said, you wouldn't do that. I said, yes, I will. I'm telling you, I will. And he didn't believe me, but you know what? He believed me 10%. That's all he needed. That's all he needed, 10%. And you know what I'm talking about, the three of you, but you know exactly what I'm talking about. Same thing with President Xi in Taiwan. You look at what he's got, ships circling, he's got planes. They didn't have planes flying over Taiwan. They didn't have ships with me. And I told them, don't do it. If you do it, it's going to be really bad. It's going to be so bad you have no idea. And again, look, we're 9,500 miles away. They're 70 miles away. Okay? They're 70 miles. But I don't want it on my watch. Wouldn't have been on my watch, I tell you right now. And I said to him very strongly, I said, don't do it, because if you do it, here's what's going to happen. He said, no way. I said, way. He said, no, you won't do it. You know, a lot of Democrats agree that if I were president, there would not have been Ukraine attack, and there would not have been this thing going on with Taiwan right now. And a lot of them agree. But he was very much the same as Putin. Just we use the name of different cities. That's all we use. Different cities, different places. He said, no way you would do that. I said, no, I will, I tell you. And he didn't believe me. But he also believed me 10%. But I tell the story about France. They were going to put a big tax on, big tax on the United States. We're going to tax their country. You know, France is difficult. Macron is a great guy. I think he's a great guy. But, you know, he's a wise guy. And I said, tell you what you do. Gave it to Mnuchin. See if you can negotiate, because we're not going to have our companies pay tax. A big tax, by the way. If you're an American company, you do business in France, they want to tax the company. I said, that's not fair. Now, do you think Biden would think that? Biden wouldn't think at all about it, because, by the way, they're now imposing it on Biden. So I gave them 2 weeks. I said, do it. I don't want that tax on that. And I don't think there's any stopping it. I said, why do you say that? I get 2 more days. They came back. We can't stop it. I called up Macron. I said, Mr. President, oh, yes, Donald, I like you so much. I said, thank you so much. And I do. I get along great with the guy. He's liberal, but that's okay. I get along great with the president of Mexico. He's a socialist, but I have a lot of respect for him. We did great things. He gave us 28,000 soldiers free of cost to stop people from coming into our country. But I said to Macron, you can't put the tax. Oh, Donald, I'm sorry. I am sorry. I have already done this. Just passed the equivalent of our legislature. And I'm so sorry. I am so sorry, but I have done this. I said, no, you haven't. Oh, no, you don't understand. Yes, I have. I said, no, you haven't done it. Because if you have done it, I am going to impose a 100% tax tariff on all wines and champagnes coming into the United States from France. And he said, no, Donald, no, you cannot do that. That would not be fair. I said, no, that would be very fair. Every single and wines. You have 5 minutes to tell me what you want to do. I will call you back. Calls me back in 2 minutes. We have decided to end the tax on American companies. Now, do you think anybody, and now they're putting that tax on, by the way, just so you know, there's nobody fighting it. How about Cuba? I got a tremendous Cuban vote in Florida, tremendous Cuban vote. China is building military places and forts and everything, installations. They're building military in Cuba, 71 miles off our coast. And the fake news doesn't even talk about it. When I heard this, and for Cuban Americans, with that happening, you can forget about ever going back to Cuba. China's taking over Cuba. And Biden doesn't do anything. The reason he doesn't, because he's compromised. He's taken in so much money from China that he's afraid, because they know how much money they've given, and he can't have them reveal that to the courts and to Congress and to Jim Jordan and Jamie Comer. He can't have them reveal. So he's sitting there. He's a totally compromised president. He is a Manchurian candidate, okay? Now think of it. Can you believe they are building military installations in Cuba, and hardly anybody? When I heard that about 3 months ago, I said, this is the biggest story. This is going to blow away. I will get them out within 48 hours. I think within 48 hours. I think within 48 hours. They will leave. And I have a very good relationship with President Xi, which was greatly disturbed with the China virus, I must be honest with you. Before that, you know, we made the greatest trade deal ever with China. They buy $50 billion worth of our product. And we took in, you know, hundreds of billions of dollars of tariffs. No other president took in 10 cents, hundreds of billions. We did great with China, but I had a lot of respect for him. He had a lot of respect for me, had a lot of respect for our country. They no longer respect our country. You saw Janet Yellen the other day bowing and bowing. Can't do that. They don't respect that. They want to deal with toughness. They want to deal with strength, and that's the only way you're going to make a deal with them. They are ripping our country to pieces. They're beating us economically. You know, China was going to take over in 2018 for 25 years. The economists will tell you. For 25 years, they've been saying China will overtake the United States in 2018. And it was happening. It was going to happen in 2018 until I came along. We doubled them up. We put taxes and tariffs on steel. They were dumping steel. We put 100% and 50% tariffs on steel. And we saved our steel. The people that like me the most in this country are people that have steel. Anything to do with steel. Because we wouldn't have one open steel mill. If we had to fight a war, we need steel. If we have to fight a war with China, we need steel. You know who we need the steel from? China. Let's go. We're fighting a war with China. Let's buy our steel from China. How does that work? No, we did a great job. We did a great job. We had the greatest economy in history. We're crushing Biden in the swing states. In Georgia, in Arizona, and Ohio, we're up by a lot. We're up by a lot. And up by a lot in North Carolina. Those numbers just came in. We're up by a lot in North Carolina, up by 8 points. A poll just came out a little while ago where I'm leading DeSanctimonious in Iowa by plus 30 points, in New Hampshire by plus 32 points, and in South Carolina by 34 points. And a poll just came out in Ohio, the great state of Ohio. I love Ohio, where I'm leading by 52 points and beating Biden by 10 points. 10 points. It's a lot. And I think it's time, and I say this from strength, not from weakness, believe me. I think it's time for Ron DeSanctimonious and so many of those other clowns on the stage. Now, you had to see Iowa. They're speaking to people that aren't even listening. They're talking. They're waiting for me, I have to say. They're waiting for me to come up. I spoke last. But they're waiting for me to come up. But